time here at the Blueprint. I am super excited. Today we have a featured guest. I am thrilled to be able to welcome Melissa Jakes. She is the founder of Rescue Events. She's also a best-selling author, an event planner, and a public speaker. She has an amazing story about how she started her business and how she serves others and brings amazing events to the forefront. I am telling you, get a pen and paper. Get ready to be encouraged, enlightened, and inspired. Most importantly, inspired by her story. So, as soon as we have the brief introduction video, I am going to bring to your vision the Melissa Jakes, founder of Rescue Event Planning. And our guest, Melissa. Hey,
Hey, how are you?
I am well. I am so excited that you are joining me today. Oh my gracious. This has been a long time coming, coordinating my schedule with your schedule. So I am thrilled that you are here today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Absolutely.
Well, I want to know about you, and my viewers want to know, how did you get into starting your business?
Yes. And if you hear baby, I have a baby that's
I
here watching.
I love it. And so I thought it was important because that's part of the blueprint, right?
Yeah.
We do what we have to do in order to make it happen. So I welcome the little one. And
I'm
I'm
trying
sure
to,
the viewers don't mind.
yeah. Try to keep them tucked away, but it's all right. So yes, I started my event planning business 5 years ago. It's been 5 years. And what we have done is really grown so fast I couldn't even it's just been amazing how fast we've grown, right? So I've been doing event planning for about 13, 14 years. And I was doing it out of the kindness of my heart, loving it. I always have been the person to organize events. I was always the one to say, oh, put Melissa on the committee because she can do it. And so that's always been my thing. What really grew into a business is when my husband encouraged me, you've been getting asked a lot. Why don't you start a business? So I said, well, I'm not sure. I would hate to tell a bride because all I knew at that time was more weddings and baby showers. I would hate to tell a bride that her color scheme is not pleasant and she's been planning her wedding for 50 years.
But that's part of what you do, right?
Right. But I was afraid to tell the bride that, to then say, no, you're fired. Like that was my fear, which is so silly, right? So I said, well, you know what? I'm going to pay for my LLC and I am going to give it a try. So I did. In our first year, to make things really work, I said, let me do a couple of free events to kind of build the clout, because event planning is all visual. What can you do? I've seen your work, all of that. So I did that. And of course, you offer free event planning services. Everyone is coming for such events. So
Exactly.
I had to say, all right, we're at our cap. I'm only taking these three. And I did that. So the second year we did 16 events. So we grew to 16. Third year, we went to about 20, 25, and we're averaging between about 30 and 40 events a year.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it went very, very fast.
Wow.
Very fast. So to the point where I was able to do the jump. Most people say like, oh, people, you hear event planners, a lot of event planners who are up and coming, they're going to work a 9 to 5 and do this, which I did. But in 2018, I was able to make the jump, which was very scary. I have a mortgage. We had our daughter at that time in Montessori school. You have responsibilities. What are you about to do? You about to leave a job for event planning and you're not sure if it's certain. What really made it certain for me was that we had the government shutdown and we had government employees who were out of work for about a month and a half. And some people are like, I can't pay my mortgage. And they couldn't do anything. Like they were broke. And that made me realize a 9 to 5, growing up, oh, get a good government job, girl, get a good government job, you'll be okay. The government's not secure either. Nothing is secure. But at least in my hands, I can make things secure for me. And so that's what really made me push to say, let's do the jump. So I lined up a couple of contracts to make sure I was good. Definitely don't just jump to jump now. You got to
I
have a
appreciate
plan.
that.
The
Yes.
blueprint. Have your blueprint
Yes.
ready and to go to make a launch. And then I did the jump, and it's been 2 years. And even in a pandemic, I'm good enough to then pivot from in-person events to virtual events. And we're still doing is of course we're not going to do as well if we had an in-person event because it just costs more.
Yes.
But we're still doing very well for ourselves.
So I can appreciate the government aspect because I was impacted
Mhm,
personally by
mhm.
the shutdown, and we've had a few since then.
Yes.
um, and the pandemic has not helped.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate you sharing the story of how you were able to pivot. Now, can you talk a little bit about now, did you have fear? Now, you had already taken the jump to
Mhm,
start the business,
mhm.
and that hadn't been long. And here you have the pandemic that comes along, and you specialize in person events. Was there any fear for you?
Absolutely. In March was packed. Okay, it was a packed month. I was going to be busy, and I was pregnant at that time as well. And so when I started getting phone calls from my clients that, yeah, we're gonna most likely cancel. We're not sure because we really went on lockdown at the end of March. So I had this one client who was having her event at the end of March, and she was like, "I'm going strong. I'm gonna go with it. Nothing is stopping us." I said, "Okay, I'm here with you. I want you to have your event." She has paid a lot of money for her event, and she deserves it. And so as we're getting closer, is not looking good. She's a little discouraged.
Yes.
And I started getting a little discouraged because after her event, April was packed as well. Because people were still calling before we actually
Yes.
shut down. People were like, yeah, we were all like, yeah, okay, maybe, but not really. But when I started getting calls for May events, June, August, we're pushing back to next year. So this is real.
Wow.
I think we all had some fear, and really, I don't think I had a time. I had a time to sit and just understand what was happening. Um, and a blessing and a curse. I was pregnant. I have high risk pregnancies anyway, where I
Mm.
have a cerclagen to keep my babies in. I can't go full term because my cervix will open up. And so, my husband looked back on. He's like, "This is really God sent. It kept you sitting down." And you didn't have
Wow.
to run around with all your events. I said, this is true. I totally hate what happened and all the lives that were lost. But there are I did a client's event. It was called Blooming in the Dark. There's definitely
Yes.
some blooming that has happened in the pandemic, in a darkness place that we are right now. But definitely there was fear. There was worry and there was doubt. But when you put FWD together, like how you for those who know about a cassette player, you have the rewind and then you have the fast forward. You got to put those three things to move forward in life. um,
Yes.
and so you have to put those fear, worry, and doubt aside and move forward.
So I'm excited. I'm glad to know that you are still thriving in the pandemic. And I have to share that I've been following Melissa for quite some time. And you know how people stalk folks, and and so I've been quietly stalking Melissa and seeing how she does what she does in such an amazing way, in a professional way. And I knew when I was ready to have an event that I had to get in touch with her, especially in this pandemic, and how to pull off a virtual event. And her help was just priceless. And I'll get into that later. But I just before I close out with Melissa, I would like for you to share with our viewers some. Are we good? Do you want to take a break?
No, we're good. We're good.
Okay.
We'll push
I,
forward, moving forward.
Okay, that's right. We're moving forward. We're pressing forward. So I just, if you wouldn't mind sharing with the viewers, what are some words of encouragement in this season for those individuals who have started something new, for those individuals who are having to pivot and still struggling with some fear
Yeah.
and not exactly sure how to move forward? Because gosh, you were pregnant, high risk pregnancy, all these events lined up, and as it would be by divine providence, the Lord just worked it out for you to be able to be at home safe and not on your feet, and
Mhm.
be able to deliver successfully that beautiful bundle of joy that you are holding. um, I'd like for you to do that. Share some words of encouragement, please.
Yes. It is, it might seem so scary. Melissa, girl, you're in it. You've done it. But I've been the place where I wasn't sure what I'm going to do. I have my master's in social work. I'm not using my master's at all. I'm doing event planning. And there's times where I sometimes still go back to that place. What are you doing? You have a master's in social work. Go practice social work. Leave this event planning behind and do what you went to school for. You have to understand your passion and your purpose is real, and it kept coming back, and it will continue to keep smacking. I say it's God smacking you across the face. Hello, this is what you need to do. And times I start doubting, what am I doing? Every time, and I don't know why God keeps doing it, but I think that He keeps doing it. He keeps sending me another client, and it's not even like one client; it's like 5 inquiries in one day. That's what you're supposed to be doing. So if you're discouraged of, Melissa, I wanted to start that website and I really wanted to get off the ground. I'm not sure. Just this is the time to really to really do it. And the reason why I say that is we're in a pandemic. A lot of people aren't going out. If you wanted to do an event and you were scared about costs, there's no cost to do some of these things on these platforms. If there is a cost, it's very minute. It's not as much as if you had to put a whole event together for people to come and buy tickets. Do it for free. If you have a product, you make candles or you make bracelets, do a class, a tutorial on how to do it, and you're going to sell them for $5. Just try it. The biggest thing that we don't do when we're discouraged is not moving forward and just trying it out, because you never know what your blessing is going to be in front of the next person that's going to give you the next biggest opportunity of your life. So don't hold back. This is a time to try. Trial and error. That's how anybody who is successful has gotten anywhere. Gordon Ramsay, I like to use his story because he's a brilliant chef, amazing shows. He has had about 5 businesses that failed, restaurants he had to close in London because he had trials and errors. Great chef, but business happens where you're going to have those flops. But those flops are great lessons for you to move forward, what not to do the next time. So you're not going to be perfect, and that's okay. But you at least need to try. So be encouraged. If you have something that you know keeps smacking you across the face, you keep seeing other people doing your passion, you need to do your passion or your gift is going to be taken away from you.
Wow. Oh, look, I was taking so many notes. It's just like, oh my goodness, God smacking you across the face
Yeah.
every time you want to give up and throw in the towel. Now, I know that you have an event coming up. So do please share about your event. See, and I know this from quietly stalking Melissa.
Yes, I have my first, if you could ever believe it, I've been doing this for such a long time. My first ever conference. And this has been my fear. I've been holding back that I said, this is the time to jump. Just do it. You never know. And even on the price point, you know how sometimes we second guess, like, oh, nobody will buy a ticket for me at that much. What are you talking about? And I talked to somebody right before I launched. I talked to
Yes.
somebody, and they said, how much is your VIP? And you know, Dr. Lisa, I have pushed you, right? I push all my clients. What are you talking about? You're not going to have that ticket price. You know your worth. Charge your worth.
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, well, you know, people are struggling. And she's like, what? If you don't change that ticket price, I'm going to come through this computer.
That's right.
And I'm telling you again, this is God saying hello.
Yes.
So when I launched this past weekend, people bought tickets.
Yep. Yep. I still have to get mine. I saw it and I meant to click, so I'm going to get mine.
Yeah, so I'm having money, mimosas, and mommypreneurs. And if you're not a drinker, don't worry. We have, I have a baby. I'm not going to sit here and drink on TV. It's mocktails, but it's basically to give you the sense of we're moms, we're mommypreneurs, and we have a business, and we know the balance of doing interviews with babies, our children, distance learning, and how are we making this all work together in a pandemic? Most of us might have already been working from home as mommypreneurs, and some of us might have not, depending what your job is and what your business is that you have. But it's a place to come together. We have dynamic speakers helping us learn about how to do self-care as a mom, but also how to do self-care on the business side as well, and making sure we're growing and connecting with some really good women in the room. So I'm super excited because I have some hidden keynote speakers and some other sponsors. One big sponsor may come out and be able to give moms some resources for their business moving forward. So definitely, I'm a person that is not going to just have an event to have an event. I want it to be meaningful where you're able to walk away with a plan. And we're going to make sure you're walking away with a plan as a mom. 2021 is coming up. We don't know what it holds for us. We know that coronavirus is still around, but that shouldn't stop us, our grind and our business. And our children are still growing and have to do things. So we definitely want to make sure we're equipping you guys with all you can. We're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about self-care and just how to work the business. So that is at www.mommypreneurconference2020.com. Or you can follow us it'll be on Rescue Event Planning. We'll have a hyperlink there too. Or you can follow us on Instagram or Facebook, the Melissa Jakes, and you'll see the link as well.
Okay, so I was in the middle of trying to type mommypreneur and my spell check is not working. So please go to Rescue Event Planning. It is there.
Yes.
And sign up. And when is the date? The date is next
Yes,
month, right?
November 15th is the date at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you have plenty of time to get tickets. And I'm telling you, for VIPs, I was talking to my business coach yesterday, and if we're almost close to landing a corporate sponsor, and so if we do, VIPs are going to get something amazing.
I love it. And you know me, anytime I can have a VIP experience,
Yes.
I am here for it. So I look forward. That's November the 15th,
Yes.
2020 at noon, 12 p.m. in the afternoon. Visit rescueeventplanning.com. Also, you can go to Mommypreneur, right? Mommypreneur.
Mommypreneur Conference 2020.
Mommypreneur Conference 2020 and sign up there. I encourage you to do VIP. I encourage you to attend, even if for some reason you're not able to do VIP. I know what Melissa does. I know who she brings together and who she brings in the room. And any opportunity that we have to sit at the feet of greatness in the comfort of our home and get such good information on how to be mommypreneurs, how to make it happen, how to pivot with babies and all in tow, whether they're on the arm, whether they're in the bassinet, look, whether they're grown like
They're
mine.
grown teenagers.
That's right. We
Okay,
never
they're still your
stop.
kids.
Yes, we never stop being a mom. And this environment that we don't have any control over right now has
Right.
presented new opportunities for us to show up and to craft our own blueprint,
Yeah.
right? How to make it happen in an
Yeah.
amazing way. Self care, our money, our mission, and being focused and getting it done. So super excited. Be certain to visit Mommypreneur event 2020,
Mommypreneur
the
Conference
conference
2020.
2020, and or rescueeventplanning.com
Mhm.
and sign up. Melissa, thank you so much for taking time
You're welcome.
to allow me to interview you, and I look forward to seeing you on November the 15th,
Yes.
2020 at 12 noon for the Mommypreneur Conference
Yes.
2020. Whoop, whoop.
Yay! Thank you
Thank
for having me
you.
so much, Dr. Lisa.
Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Oh my gosh, I am so glad that I was able to get Melissa on. Before we close out, the event that she so kindly worked with me on is was the Boss Con 2020. Believe it, create it, manifest it. We had 5 dynamic speakers: Dr. Carlia East, a psychotherapist; Nayoka Simone, oh my gosh, an interior designer, but also working with us on how to redesign our life from the inside out. Rochelle Wilson, oh my gracious, did she have a word for us on pushing forward? Victoria Venable, I like to call her Lady Victoria. When I tell you she stirred our souls, oh my gracious, she was on fire. And I mean, and she is a fireball just anyway, but I'm telling you, she was on fire. And our keynote speaker, Lucinda Cross, was absolutely amazing. And I'm telling you, if you missed it, right? If you missed it, don't worry. I have created an opportunity for you to still be able to participate in the conference, whatever you missed. And I'm calling it the Boss Bundle 2020, Boss Bundle 2020. And here's a shortcut: https forward : bit.ly boss bundle 2020. And for a little investment of $20.20, you will get access to the VIP session. I told you I love a VIP session with the 5 dynamic speakers, and they poured into the VIP attendees. You will get that. You will also get the general session with all of the speakers, and they shared more lengthy presentations there. And you will also get, drum roll, I have it here, is Making BS Boss Moves: the 4 R's to Achieve Success. That is my latest book project. You will get the PDF of the book, and you will get, you will be able to get that, the PDF of the book. So please do that. Visit https bit.ly boss bundle 2020, or simply that little QRB code. You can take your phone and use your camera feature and put it over the code, and it'll take you right to be able to get the boss bundle. I am super excited for you to get that bit of information. And I'm telling you, if there is an event that you want to host, reach out to our featured guests for today. is Melissa Jakes. I am telling you, she will be able to work with you, hold your hand through the process. She was very beneficial in helping me pull together the event, something I had never done before on that scale, and just an amazing person. Also, a best-selling author and a public speaker. So, even if for some reason you're not able to reach out to her at this particular time, you're not haven't gotten over the fear of doing an in-person event or a virtual event, reach out to her as a public speaker. Dynamic, a beautiful testimony, and a wonderful example of a mommy doing it. I mean, doing the thing, and a wife, and a mother to two, doing an amazing job. So thank you so much for joining us today on The Blueprint. I am so glad you decided to take the time to join us. And remember, we are here to serve you. We help you to design your and reach your life's vision and goals one episode at a time.
Thank you for your support of The Blueprint. For your gift of any amount, receive a word of encouragement and prayer every week for 52 weeks. That's the BS Boss Motivating Boost. For your gift of $49, you will get access to my personally autographed Making BS Boss Moves, the 4 R's to Achieve Success, due to be released fall 2020. And for $99, you get access to both of those things, as well as a private Facebook group where we get to interact. You get access to events and before the public knows about it. So visit us now for your support, and thank you in advance.